Okay, guys, so this is part 3. Originally it was supposed to be just a part 1 and 2, but I have to continue reading this. I'm not going to leave y'all hanging like that. We're going to finish 11, 2 Kings 7:11, reading on. So the gatekeeper shouted the news, and check out parts 1 and 2 if you miss it. The gatekeeper shouted the news, and it was reported within the palace. Remember what just happened in chapter 6, right? So the king got up in the night and said to his officers, I will tell you what the Arameans have done to us. They know we are starving. Starving like Marvin, right? And that's not what he said, guys. They know we are starving, so they have left the camp to hide in the countryside. Hold on. So they have left the camp to hide in the countryside, thinking they will surely come out, and then we will take them alive and get into the city. One of his officers answered, have some men take 5 of the horses that are left in the city. Their plight will be like that of all the Israelites left here. Yes, they will only be like all those Israelites who are doomed. So let us send them to find out what happened. So they selected 2 chariots, somebody say 2 chariots, with their horses, and the king sent them after the Aramean army. He commanded the drivers, go and find out what has happened. They followed them as far as the Jordan, and they found the whole road strewn with the clothing and equipment the Arameans had thrown away in their headlong flight. Somebody say, this looks like a job for God. So the messengers returned and reported to the king. Then the people went out and plundered the camp of the Arameans. So a seah of flour sold for a shekel. Remember the word, right? And 2 seahs of barley sold for a shekel, as the Lord had said. And that's a word for somebody. It's going to be just as the Lord has said, right? We did so many videos on that, but we just did a recent video on that, talking about a couple days ago, literally. And when you look back, it's going to all be worth it. So if you haven't listened to that, listen to that video too. So now the king had put the officer on whose arm he leaned. Remember him, right? Okay, make sure you remember him. So now the king had put the officer on whose arm he leaned in charge of the gate. And the people trampled him in the gateway, and he died, just as the men of God had foretold when the king came down to his house. See, Elisha didn't allow what it was looking like, or what was going on, or what was coming against him, or how he was feeling, or nothing, to stop him from still being in agreement with God and speaking the word of God and being in agreement with God. That's another key to your breakthrough, right? So, okay, this man died, gateway, and he died, just as the man of God had foretold when the king came down to his house. See, some of you got to prophesy your situation. You got to prophesy your breakthrough, your miracle, your blessing, your deliverance. You got to prophesy your way out. You got to speak that word. You got to keep hitting it. And you can't let up. Because a lot of times when you're ready to give up and you're ready to let up, that's right around the time when that breakthrough is getting ready to happen. It's always darkest before dawn sometimes, guys. So it happened as the man of God had said to the king, about this time tomorrow. About this time tomorrow, a seah of flour will sell for a shekel, and 2 seahs of barley for a shekel at the gate of Samaria. The officer had said to the men of God, look, even if the Lord shall open the floodgates of the heavens, could this happen? The men of God had replied, you will see it with your own eyes, but you will not eat any of it. Why? Because he didn't believe. Because he was against what God had said. Don't you know that? Don't you know that God will remove anything, any opposition, anything out the way that's trying to come against him or his word? It's just not going to stand. It's not going to prosper. So, and that is exactly what happened to him. Somebody saying that's exactly what happened. For the people trampled him in the gateway, and he died. Pray I was blessed by this.